Welcome back, lads. We've got the Airfix Bristol Bulldog. This is Mark II. Looks great. I've had it out of the bag, of course, just to have a good look at it, and it looks really great. We're going to put in the Edward Sutton harnesses. They will be fine. I can imagine. When was this aircraft? Mid-30s, early 30s, mid-30s. So yeah, it would have been Sutton harnesses. It would have been absolutely fine. You're not going to see a lot of the cockpit anyway, so probably doesn't really matter. Scheme-wise, at the minute, I'm probably going to go with the 17 Squadron. It's either that or obviously number 3, which is on the box art. It doesn't really matter. They're both the same aircraft. I can decide that as and when. If you know anything about Edward biplanes, this is very, very similar. Now, I built a few of their biplanes and they're really great. A good introduction to biplane building. This looks like very similar. It does look very similar. Really great. So I think I'm going to have to just stop talking and get on with it. Clearly, it all starts in the cockpit as usual, and quite a basic cockpit it is, as you can imagine from a 1930s biplane. These new Airfix mouldings are terrific, really great. But what we do get are really annoying pips everywhere, which is part of the course of fine-tuning their mouldings, I'd guess, into something that's really great. Anyway, back to the cockpit. So pretty basic stuff: the chair going together, the pilot seat going together. I do spend quite a bit of footage on the cockpit, and it's really kind of unnecessary because you can't see anything. Grinding tool there just to make a little hole in the back plate there, just to take the seat belts, which we'll see in a minute. Yeah, you don't see nothing really, and the completed model. If you do go and get this kit, seat belts is probably all you'll need. As you can see, it's pretty basic. Seat belts, you don't need nothing else. I wouldn't bother with any fancy Dan interior set. You might get away with a instrument panel perhaps, but you don't really see anything. These, as you've seen before, are Edward Sutton harnesses, generic RF Sutton harness. This is what you're going to need for your build, should you do it, when I suggest that you do. It really is a lovely kit. Go together, as you can see. You've done harnesses before. The HGW set would be good for this, but I struggle getting them together at 32 scale, let alone 48. So, but if you can get them on, you're a better man than me. I think we might have a little chat about the aircraft itself. It was a British single-seat biplane, as you can imagine, designed by a lad called Frank Barnwell for the Bristol Aeroplane Company, which sits in really well with the sways thing that I do, if you remember that. Southwest Aviation in scale. Looks like a Hawker cockpit, doesn't it, with that framing? It came into service in 1929 and developed to meet the Air Ministry specifications of F.9/26. I need someone to tell me what all them figures would actually mean. I ought to look it up, really. Internet's such a wonderful thing. So it's powered by the Bristol Jupiter radial engine, giving us a top speed of around about 174 mile an hour at and a ceiling of 27,000 feet. 2 guns, 2 Vickers guns on the side of the fuselage, and the one I have has got a don't know what it is. There's Vickers gun on the top as well, on the top of the wing. Frontline fighter through the early 30s, of course. 11 squadrons at its peak. And the Finns and the Australians and the Latvian Air Force took airframes to serve with their respective air forces. Its claim to fame, really, I'd guess, would be it was old Douglas Bader's aeroplane, which he had his accident in. If you don't know anything about Douglas Bader or his accident, I can't talk about it here. You have to just Google it and have a look. It's a great story. But anyway, his accident was in a Bristol Bulldog, mucking about on it, and then crashed, and well, the rest is history, as they say. What I've tried to do there is just take the thickness down of the wings. I do suggest you make a better of a job of it than I did. It only came apparent when they were glued together. But just try your best to try and get that thickness down, because it is pretty thick. This bottom, this back piece here, just literally clicked in. After you glue it together, it went click, and it was, oof, there you go, lovely fit. Just a bit of sanding for the tail fin. You don't see me doing a lot of sanding on video. I don't think it's necessary. We can sand and fill, really. It's just obviously showing points that you might need to take attention of. It's a lovely plastic as well. This new modern dark grey plastic, it really is right up there now. Airfix really are right up there. I've actually might be doing another Airfix kit next, and I would love it to have been in this plastic, that's for sure, Liz. A bit of black super glue here just to take up a little gap, mainly caused by myself, I think, for not cleaning the mating surfaces of the fuselage. Being impatient, as I normally am. The infinity sanding sticks and sponges, making short work of what we've got there. No problemo. Clearly no kit is perfect. Excuse me. Struggling with these little struts here, and they had to be trimmed just to suit. Now there is one there is one of these 4 struts on two on either side of the model there, which I cut a bit too short, so I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Any eagle eye man, you might see it, or you might not, so I'll just keep my mouth shut on that, I think. This is the top wing now, so I learned from my mistake here on the lower wing here, just to try and take this some of this thickness down. And you can see there's it's really thick. So the sanders wasn't doing it. So let's start to break out the my scraper here, Master Tools scraper, nice little tool. So just to get in there and scrape away as much as we can. But you can't take too much out, else you'll end up being thinner than the Aerolon. As you can see, I think I've got that one a bit too thin, but you know, you just got to be aware of things like that, really, just to sharpen up your build a little bit. This is the engine going together. A nice little engine. Whether you get this in a resin engine at some point, maybe it's out now, maybe it's out in the future. Do you need it? Possibly, if you fancied it, you do. It is quite a focal point. The kit engine isn't too bad at all. It's a bit of a tight fit, but I felt the tolerances on the engine itself were pretty tight. We'll come to that later on. Yeah, we'll see what I mean. What I did use for the kit, which I highly recommend, is this lad here, CT Scale Models. Don't know who he is. On eBay, and he does mass sets, as you can see, and they're all excellent. I've used them on the Whirlwind, I think it was the Whirlwind, definitely the Anson, and now on here, and they're excellent. I've got to say, the ones I've used are better than Edward ones, which you would get, you know, you'd buy as a part of the course. They're really, really good. So if you're doing a kit, have a quick look on eBay, see if he does a mass set for it, and I highly recommend them. LP11, naturally, for a silver dope aircraft. It's a brilliant colour. The Tamiya LP silvers are really excellent. I ought to really invest in some more. Their sparkling silver is a good substitute for chrome, evidently. But I don't do a lot of chrome aircraft, so this is the extreme metal, which I'm kind of falling out of love with, to be honest with you. They are getting a bit old now, and I do find that they're going rather thick. And they do tend to not dry as quick as they used to. Well, again, that's something else we'll come to later on. A wood grain effect, one of my favourite techniques. Easy peasy. Just you need like a beige buff colour, then some dark brown oil paint, and then I always finish mine off with some clear orange. And it gives you such a good wood effect. Easy technique, very effective. This is the one that, this chrome, it didn't go down particularly well. As you can see, it's not quite as shiny and chromy as I wanted it to be, although it does overnight, it does shine up a bit more, but it kind of didn't dry. I'm using a bit of MRP for the top green down the spine. It didn't dry as I thought it would, as quickly as I thought it would. I did leave it a couple of days before I masked as well, and we'll see in a minute. When I did demask after the green, I was left, it pulled it a bit off. You'll see it leaves a little texture, and I was really, yeah, you can see that there. I got really anxious about it. Been using, bought some AK real pens, real colour pens, just for a trial. I've heard some good things about them. Excellent. I got a black, rubber black, gunmetal, and a dark aluminium, I think I did. Excellent, really good. So much easier than dragging a paint pot out and finding a brush that's okay, and then trying to clean the brush after and mucking about. These are really good. I don't think you'd probably do a complete model in them, but for things like this, really good. This is just using the mask set again, just for masking up the blades, prop blades, for the brass edge, leading edge of the prop, so to speak. It doesn't call for this in the instructions. I was following or looking at photos of the one that's in the RF Museum, I believe, and that has got this brass leading edge to the prop. So, and obviously it's on his mate's mass set, so we went with it. Now the struts that went in okay, they were pretty good actually. I did think they might end up being a little bit sketchy, they're a little bit all over the place, but they're all right. Still had to use the top wing for a like a jig, so to speak, while the glue was setting, which I'd left overnight. They're not as good as the Falco. If you remember the ICM Falco video, the struts we're using there were superb. There was no jigging about with them whatsoever. They went in as they went in, and they were perfect. But as you can see, you had to use the top wing there just to keep them in place while that glue was set in. Like I said before, I left it overnight just to be doubly sure. I could have used super glue in fairness, but as we know, super can be a little bit brittle, and it wouldn't take too much to give it a bit of a knock and the wing come flying off. So just lining these up, it was a bit of a fiddle, I've got to be honest. You do need, as we'll see, I did have to use tape to pull when they were glued together at the end, so to speak. I did have to use tape just to pull pull them together, so to speak. We'll come to that, you'll see in a minute. This is the legs. While she's on the back, I thought I might as well get her legs together. Went in fine, that was not a problem. So you just pop that on there. And quite strong as well. Another thing, I thought there might be a little bit on the old floppy side, but no, absolutely fine. Now before we put the top wing on, I thought we'd better just put a bit of little touch of weathering. So this is just a black oil lamp black. You can get away with black on silver, I find. It's not too bad. It gives you more of a shadow rather than a dirty shadow, so to speak. If you use brown or a sepia, you end up being like a dirty, gives you a dirty look, and I didn't really want a dirty look as such. Just wanted to highlight some detail. Again, it's underneath the top wing. You just don't see it, but it's there. We know it's there, don't we? Gives an excuse just to get out get some all out, and it makes makes it look a bit more presentable, just like that. We are decaled. You could probably see there's a couple of decals on there. We are all decaled up. I didn't want to show the decaling because I didn't think there's much point, to be honest with you. The rigging holes are pre-drilled in the model, in the kit, so that's another good plus. That's a bonus. You don't have to muck about trying to find drill your own holes. So they're already on there, they're already in, so we just glue. This is easy line, I believe, if I remember rightly. Medium easy line. This is the way I would do the rigging. I kind of not always do it this way. I always do it this way. This is the way I find is good for me. So the top wing, is rigged, so to speak. Then we glue onto the struts, and there's a bit of tape. Try not to get the tape over the decal so it rips that off. Try not to do that if you can avoid it. And then just manhandle the struts into position, glued both sides. Try not to stick the rigging onto your glue or the tape you're using, because that's and all you end up doing is pulling it all off. So he's just using a bit of extra thin, and then we could have used a fast setting. Actually, I didn't think about that, to be honest, at the time, but there you go. So there you go, there's a bit of tape, avoiding the decal, because you know what will happen. I didn't use any. Oh no, I did use clears on this. I just used a bit of all over the decal there. Look, I did use a clear matte for the dark green on the top of the fuselage there. But other than that, there's no clears used. There's no semi-glosses, or which I would normally do. So yeah, just to remove. So this is the day later. Removing the tape carefully. Now I do show a little bit of rigging in operation. Oh, but not a lot. Take that decal off. But there's not a lot of rigging, and you'll forgive me because it's really hard to do. So a little bit of super glue in the holes already provided. Get hold of your rigging wire. If you can see it, pop it into the hole, hold it a couple of seconds, let go, and hope for the best. And the same again. Bit of glue into the hole, wire into, or the easy line into the hole. Couple of seconds, let go, hopefully it's taken. No, this one did. And then basically rinse and repeat. Didn't take too long. I thought it might take longer than it did, and I even forgot why that I had to go back to do, which is a bit annoying, but it went okay. This is the mass set again. This is CT models. I'm not I bought this mass set, not sponsored by him or her. I just think these small businesses we need to try and support, so he could give us more and more excellent masks. So this is obviously the back side of the wheel coming off. That's just a bit of masking fluid. Mr. Hobby Mask Sol. I don't use it that often, but sometimes you need to. Goes onto there like that, and then we stick a bit of extra thin, and I think you can guess what's coming next. Okay. Just a word about the decals quickly. I didn't really talk about them. Didn't show them going down, of course. Excellent. No need to show you them. There's no issues with them. The cartograph decals that Airfix use are the best. I think they are the best decals around. There's none better, I don't think, anyway. You won't go into the Edward and the decals. We'll use that for someone else can moan about that. This is the engine going together. Now, again, a bit of a tight fit. A little bit of a sketchy fit as well, but it goes in. Now, what the problem I had was getting the cylinder heads in there, like plastic rods, so to speak, really tight. So I've had to just shave down the plastic, as you can see, and cut them back. And I also took a little bit of material with off the inside of the cylinder head there with a little file, and that didn't really do much good, but as you can see, it's ever so tight. I didn't have to glue them, because the worry was you press so hard that you end up breaking something. And I think the one of them that did actually kind of split into two down its join line, so that to be rejoined. But just starting to come together now. Look, she looked lovely. It's a lovely kit, it's a lovely aeroplane. Airfix should be really, they're on to a winner with this, certainly with this kit. Now, if they can think about it and carry on with this era of aircraft, this silverwings series, if you like, 1930s, RAF, don't have to be RAF, could be Italian, absolutely love it. I did lose the glazing, or I don't think it was actually in the kit, so what I've had to do there is use a display chrome pen and, as you can see, some resin just to build up that clear. But going back to Airfix and these kits, if anyone I can't imagine anyone who watches this has got anything to do with Airfix, but if they do, just tell them to keep producing more of these 30s biplanes. They could be onto a real winner. There's a massive gap in the market there, and if they can produce kits of this quality, absolutely onto a winner. These exhausts were another barrel of laughs. You can see I'm weathering up here. You can see what I'm using. There's pigments going on, and there's all sorts of washes and all the rest of it, and a bit of rust and all sorts. If you're good, you'll see that I've actually cut the drilled out the holes the wrong side, I should say. If you can see that, I've had to recut. See where the exhaust is, I've had to re-drill that hole out. And anyway, la-di-da. Thank you for staying this far. If you have, please like and subscribe if you do like it. Please give me a sub as well. Come and say hello in the chat. And we'll see you on the next kit, whenever that will be. Thanks lads, happy modelling, and I'll see you soon.